Well, the NFL Draft 2026 has come to a close. Thank y'all for tuning in for day 2 and day 3 coverage with me and my boy A1. Shout out to Clint Goss. Shout out to my boy Let's Get It GA. Shout out to y'all in the chat, man, that, stuck with us. It was about, 8 hours of coverage, man. Been a long 2 days, but we got through it again another year, man. But these are my draft grades for the Atlanta Falcons, man. 6 picks in this draft. A strategic trade towards the end, and it yielded a big payment for the Falcons on the back end. But here are my grades for the Atlanta Falcons. Let's get this thing started, man, with Avieon Terrell, man. This was, to me, a home run pick. If not for that hamstring injury in his pro day and him, not being able to participate fully in drills at the combine, I think they dropped his stock just a little bit because I had him towards the bottom of the first round from anywhere in the 20s, and he fell all the way to 48 to the Falcons. Gets to play at home with his brother A.J. Terrell, and another the dream come true. But had solid stats all throughout college. Very good with his technique. And I think this guy right here, he's tough, rugged, and what the Falcons are preaching with Jeff Ulbrich. He's an outside corner, or he can play nickel, and I think he starts in the nickel until Billy Bowman is done. I think they roll with Mike Hughes for a little while. But I think Avieon Terrell is the future second corner. And I think Billy Bowman is still going to lock down the nickel position, or Billy Bowman can switch back to safety if they want to keep Avieon at the nickel. But I think he can play solid at number 2. And I think there was a home run pick for the Atlanta Falcons. Going back to the pipeline where they know it, at Clemson University, man. Vic Beasley, Grady Jarrett. I can keep going and going. But yes, Avieon Terrell, to me, was a home run pick. I give it an A. And to me, I think they got to steal with this pick as a much-needed position. This, to me, was my favorite pick of the draft, and I don't really, I always say I have a favorite pick. I like all of them because I hope all of them succeed. But this is something that we've been lacking with the Atlanta Falcons for a while. A guy with short area quickness that can, just make plays at the drop of a dime. A guy that can go vertical down the field, run after the catch is set. And he didn't showcase a lot of his skills because they ran a lot of screens at Georgia. But you will see his full potential unlocked with the Atlanta Falcons. We know Tua Tagovailoa had that track team in Miami. A guy like this fits right down to what he likes to do, throwing the ball, getting the ball out quick. It also works out for Michael Penix as well, somebody with a strong arm that can make those long throws, and, with deep accuracy. So Zachariah Branch also helps on special teams. So this pick, to me, was very, very important that they get it right, and I think they did. And you got to think 75% of his snaps came from the slot, so they get a slot receiver to take over where Mooney left off last year or the last 2 years. You get Olamide Ezekiel, Jahan Dotson, so you got speed on this team. But I think his prowess on special teams is what makes him stand out from the rest of these guys at wide receiver. So this versatile weapon, I think Zachariah Branch can be, to me, was just a home run pick. Let's move on to the 4th round pick that they traded back with the Los Angeles Raiders and picked up an extra 6th round pick. This one kind of puzzled me at first, but the more I looked into it, he fits what Jeff Ulbrich wants to do. They lost Caden Ellis in free agency, and they let him go because they knew that they were going to find a replacement. He perfectly fits right into what Caden Ellis was doing. And Caden Ellis was a good player, but he wasn't the most athletic guy. But Kendall Daniels, to me, is the perfect fit. Hybrid safety, linebacker type guy, can play on the 3 safety dime system. He can also play on the outside. He can play middle linebacker. Put up decent numbers from Oklahoma State to Oklahoma. 293 career tackles, 31.5 tackle for losses, 16 pass breakups, 7.5 sacks, 5 interceptions. So he can do it all. He can cover. He can get after the quarterback. And I think this was a home run pick. I think his 40 was like 4.6, 4.7. But when you're on the field, your play speed is just totally different. I think they could have, made a better pick than this. But for what Ulbrich wants to do, this guy fits what he wants to do. Be aggressive, be able to cover the field, and just be able to, do your job when called upon. Now, the pick that they traded back for with the Raiders. This one made me scratch my head too. But as I look more into this one as well, 6th-round pick number 208. Anterio Thompson, a defensive tackle from Washington. He's about 6 foot 1.5, 6'2", about 330 pounds. I'm sorry, 305 pounds. Let me get that right, 305 pounds. And when you look at this guy's tape, he burst at the line of scrimmage. He's a very good pass rusher, and he didn't have a lot of playing time. But when you see that burst and that first step and being able to fill his gaps, he can do that. He ran. I think he had the fastest 40 time for a guy his size. I think it was like 4.6, 4.7. So he has pursuit speed, takes good angles, and like I said, this one made me scratch my head. But as I keep telling y'all, it's all about fit and scheme fit. He can be a 3-4 end, or he can be a 4-3 tackle, and they're going to run a bit of a hybrid steel. So in that case, he still fits. You got to think too, Doherty's, Zach Harrison, and the new guys, Chris Williams, Mason Smith, until he gets it going, they're going to go with a heavy rotation on the defensive line. He fits what they like to do, and like I said, they can fit him in a 4-3 defensive tackle or a 3-4 end. In that case, he will fit. He has the speed, he has the pursuit angles, and he has good gap integrity. So schematically, he fits, and now that I know, I don't have a problem with it. But yeah, Anterio is going to be a great fit for the Atlanta Falcons. Let's go, Mr. Thompson. Another 6th-round pick, number 215. This one kind of shocked me, but shout out to the chat, man, when we were doing the live show. A lot of y'all called for Harold Perkins Jr. And if you know LSU, you know they don't do nothing but breed speedy linebackers. A guy that's sideline to sideline, 4.38 speed. A guy that great pursuit. He had to come out last year. He's easily a day 2 pick. But he fell in this draft. He was a little inconsistent last year. But when you talk about a guy that reminds me of Deion Jones with speed, he's one of these guys. Now, he needs to work on his coverage. He do. But when you talk about run stopping, and being able to set the edge, he can do all of that. So this is not only a good linebacker depth piece, this is a damn good special team piece as well. Because when you talk about speed, Harold Perkins is what you're talking about. So I think the Falcons got to steal with this guy. Because like I said, if he come out in 2025, he's probably a day 2 pick. But Harold Perkins is an Atlanta Falcon, 6th-round number 215. I absolutely love this pick. 7th-round pick. They get a project player in another offensive lineman. They got Jack Nelson last year for Wisconsin. They go to Ohio State, get Ethan Onianwa, and he came over from Rice after 4 seasons. Played in 13 games for Ohio State as a backup. 97 snaps, I think it was, he played last year. But you look at his size, it's 6 foot. I think he's 6'6", about 335. So when you talk about a run grader, this is what you want. He has long wingspan of 83.5 inches. So he can probably slap a cow from across the street. I think this pick was to add depth to the offensive line, and we knew they were going to have to add depth. We're losing Caleb McGarrett to retirement. Storm Norton, don't know if he's going to come back. They signed Jawan Taylor. So, look, they had to add depth somewhere. But I think this is a good project for Bill Callahan to take on. And with you having a good offensive line coach that can get the best out of his players, I absolutely love this pick. And it's going to have to grow on me just a little bit more. But I think in the long run, it's going to work out because he's uber athletic for his size and long arms. I think Bill Callahan has a project, but I think he can pull it off. And those are my grades for the Atlanta Falcons' new draft class for 2026, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it, man. 6 picks, and I think there were 6 good picks. I really don't have a favorite one. I'm going to just say I just can't wait to see what this class going to do because I think this team is building something special, man. But draft class grades, y'all drop y'all draft class grades in the comments. I gave y'all my overall class grade. I would give it a B minus. I feel like they could have did a pinch better. But again, look, I think they're sticking to the plan that they came into the draft with, followed it to a T, And a lot of players got snatched away from him because they got traded in front of a couple of times. But that's my thoughts on it, man. Drop them comments and I'm going to holler at y'all later, man. Peace.